Hey everyone, my name is Brian Howard. I'm a Calgary realtor who has sold an average of a house a week since moving to this great city in 2003. And this is Calgary Living. I'm interviewing Calgary's top performers as it relates to living and lifestyle in our great city. Some of the podcasts will be real estate decision specific, but most will be about life in Calgary and why we choose to live here, or at least why you should visit. Thanks for tuning in. Today I had a fun chat with Kayla Kitz of Parks Foundation Calgary. Parks Foundation Calgary is an organization that really focuses on the fact that parks matter. Parks matter to Calgarians. As we all know, parks are cherished places where we play, connect with each other, and generally immerse ourselves in nature. So Parks Foundation is an organization mandated by the city of Calgary. Currently, the Parks Foundation has a super celebration. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Bench and Picnic Table Dedication Program. So all the details are at parksfdn for foundation.com, where you can learn more about their Bench and Picnic Table Dedication Program that Kayla is spearheading, I think. Kayla is finishing a degree program at Mount Royal University on communications and marketing and business. And we had a really great chat. She is the communications and public relations go-to person at Parks Foundation. And as with most of the staff members at Parks Foundation, Kayla wears many hats. She obviously oversees all marketing communication efforts, is responsible for planning and executing all events, and handles donor relations. In her spare time, she enjoys the city's many parks and pathways with her boyfriend and dog. So, without further ado, here is our little attempt at our conversation about Parks Foundation and Kayla's life in Calgary, which was kind of interesting until our Wi-Fi connection failed us on our Zoom call. But in case, enjoy this chat with Kayla. Look more into Parks Foundation Calgary. Look more into their 30th anniversary celebration of the donor program and the picnic tables and those park benches that we see all over the city. And notice next time you're walking in the park about those benches, and notice the bronze plaque. Often those are dedicated towards something or someone. And there's a story behind each of those park benches donated by Calgarians. Considering yourself, is that something that you would like to do in sort of thank our gratitude to our wonderful parks in our city and people that you know or love? I've just recently learned of one fellow who donated a park bench because of all the time he enjoyed in the park with his dog. I think his dog's name was Cooper. So this year, Parks Foundation Calgary is giving away a picnic table or bench on Scotchman Hill, Calgary's most iconic viewpoint. So you too could have your own park bench this year by sharing a story. For more details, visit Parks Foundation Calgary website. And here's my chat with Kayla. Well, folks, welcome to another edition of Living in Calgary. Today on the show, I have Kayla Kitz.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Kayla, thank you so much for being on the show. Kayla works as the marketing coordinator with Parks Foundation Calgary. And just before we got on the show, I explained to Kayla about Kayla, right?
Kayla, you were right.
I explained to Kayla about my interest in parks, and my background is really coming back from that background where I was very much involved. My whole life I've been interested in recreation, in how people recreate, the public parks and accessing I think of it as outdoors, but not all our parks are outdoors or in natural areas. But Kayla, you're the marketing coordinator for Parks Foundation Calgary. Tell us a little bit about your work and what is Parks Foundation Calgary?
Yeah, absolutely. So Parks Foundation Calgary is a local nonprofit organization here in the city. We were established in 1985, and we work to create unique and accessible sport and green spaces for all Calgarians. We have a multiple different functions and different kind of programs that we work to do that through. But we really work to shape kind of the outdoor landscape and make sure Calgarians have a healthy, happy place to live and enjoy the outdoors.
And at Calgary Parks Foundation, kind of an NGO. What do you classify it? Is it a voluntary run organization, or how are you funded?
So we're funded through a few different sources, but we are fully paid staff and we're considered an agent of the city of Calgary. So we also are mainly a donor driven organization at the end of the day. We rely on the generosity of individuals and businesses and grants to come in and help fund not only our organization, but all of the exciting projects that we're working on.
So that's a little bit about Parks Foundation Calgary, which is very cool. And it's awesome to have your guys' involvement. And I've noticed a few different things that you've been involved with as a foundation that maybe we'll scroll back to. But Kayla, I'm interested a little bit about you and your life in Calgary. Can you tell me a little bit about how you came to be in Calgary?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually born and raised in Calgary, as well as both my parents. We've come to love and know the city, but I think it's one of those things that I've actually really come to appreciate the city the longer that I've been here. And I've always grown up in the deep south. So you kind of come to know your little niche. And as I've gotten older and had the ability to explore more of our city, you realize how large Calgary really is and how much it has to offer.
Interesting. So your parents, I think you said they were born here as well. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, they were.
And so did your grandparents grow up in the deep south of the city as well?
No, actually, my grandparents, I think only one of them is from Calgary. So my grandfathers are both from Europe. One's from Scotland and the other from Amsterdam. And they both came to Canada when they were teenagers. And
Wow.
then oh, sorry, go on.
Do you know why they choose Calgary? That we're talking probably, I would guess, what, 1920s? You probably don't know the dates.
I don't know exactly. Honestly, I think it was just for a better life opportunity, and Calgary happened to be where they landed. So
Interesting. Did they work in agriculture or oil and gas? Where did they land?
no, so my one grandfather was in the armed forces for a little while, and then he ended up working in kind of accounting. And then my other grandfather, I actually don't know what he did as a kid, but he's in insurance now, so no
Okay.
farming at all.
And what strikes you about living in Calgary? I mean, looking a little bit at your history, your involvement with Parks Foundation Calgary. What are some of your thoughts around living in Calgary? Any comments on just general Calgary living?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the first things that comes to my mind is that I feel like it's a very safe city. I feel good. I like to live here. I feel like I can go out and enjoy myself. And I think that's really important as we kind of progress as a society. And you see that becoming more of an issue around the world. So I feel very, very lucky that we still have that kind of safety net to fall back on as a city. And secondly, I think the sense of community is really, really huge in Calgarians. And you see it every day, honestly. I remember the really big snowstorm we had just a couple weeks ago here where it was like, what, 30 centimeters overnight. And the amount of people you saw out on the street just helping get cars out with no questions asked was, I think that really embodied Calgarians. Like they're here to help and they want to see the best for their neighbors and their community.
It's interesting. I find it interesting as an older fellow. I have traveled a fair amount around the world, not that much. But as a longtime real estate agent in the city, people coming new to this city, they kind of ask me frequently. I get asked a lot, what is the safe community? Or I want to move in the city, but I just don't want to be in any bad neighborhood. And in fact, in Calgary as a city, I don't think there's any bad neighborhoods. Yeah, we have neighborhoods that are maybe more affluent than others. But in fact, we don't have a lot of crime, and crime can happen all over the city anywhere. And I don't think there's any like really, really bad neighborhoods. For example, there's some major cities in the States that actually have really bad neighborhoods where if you go there, there's some chance that you will see or experience terrible things. That doesn't really happen in Calgary. as a long time Calgarian, and it sounds like at least a third generation Calgarian, you know that as well about the city. It's a safe place. So interesting. And tell me a little bit about your background, your schooling, and how you happened to come to work for Parks Foundation Calgary.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in communications with Mount Royal University. I'm just actually finishing my last class this semester, so I'll get my degree in public relations this spring.
This is exciting.
It
Congratulations.
is. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, it feels like. So
I can't even
it's been
imagine, and most of the listeners on the show couldn't imagine being a student through these last, year and a half. What's that been like for you in COVID times?
sorry, our connection just got bad for a second there. I missed that.
Oh, our connection is unstable.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah.
I just, what's it like? You're finishing school right now at Mount Royal University. What's it been like the last year for you transitioning in this COVID time into online learning?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it really depends who you talk to. For myself, it actually hasn't changed all that much. As I mentioned, I'm finishing now, but I've actually been working almost full time my entire degree. It's been kind of a long process, and I've been with Parks Foundation for almost 2 years now. So I actually transitioned to mostly online learning before the pandemic happened, just before, to kind of be able to accommodate a busy work schedule. So hasn't been much change on my end, and I actually happen to enjoy the online learning, but I know a lot of people are definitely really struggling and missing that face-to-face and classroom interaction.
Interesting. Well, it's just so cool. And you're graduating with communications degree?
Yeah, Bachelor of Communications with a major in public relations.
It's fascinating that studying that during this COVID time, like, and how communication has, somewhat changed, I think. Like, I know in my own business and practice of selling real estate, my communication has changed in the last 12 months, 10 months, and how I communicate with clients.
I have to apologize. Our connection is gone again. I don't know if you can hear me, but I
don't think, no, I think it's probably on my end. My apologies, Kayla. Well, that was a fun and somewhat frustrating exercise in terms of our poor Wi-Fi connection with Kayla. I look forward to reaching out to her again. They have a lot of great initiatives going on here in Parks Foundation Calgary this year, embracing the outdoors, celebrating their 30th anniversary. And they have a few new initiatives this summer regarding inclusivity in parks. So if you have questions on Calgary and Calgary real estate related matters, or if I can ever assist you in moving Calgary, of course, that's what I do and love that work. If you know someone who'd like to be on the show or think would be a good fit for our show, which is pretty much anyone, we're just exploring the lives of Calgarians and, somewhat related real estate decisions, I would love to hear. Until next time, wishing you all the best. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay grateful. And I will.